Hello and welcome to City Corner. I'm your host, Todd Blackstock. On today's show, we're going to highlight some fun activities and events coming up for the 2025 Christmas holiday season. In studio today, we have Bethany Budde from the Lafayette Square Association and Katy Enrique from the City Museum. So stay with us for this and much more coming up on STL TV. Welcome in. Our first guest today is from the Lafayette Square Association in the Business District and involved in many activities around that part of town. Bethany Budde, thanks for joining us today on City Corner.
Thank you.
It's like, where should we start? Perhaps with some of the historical significance of Lafayette Square. I mean, it's definitely one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis.
Absolutely.
And now the park is just legendary.
It is. It's a great park, 30 acres. It's the oldest fenced park west of the Mississippi, as is Lafayette Square, the oldest historic district west of the Mississippi.
So I guess in the 1800s, the houses started being built around the park and just beautiful architecture and Victorian style homes. And something happened later. There was like a national disaster or, weather related issues. It kind of, banged up the neighborhood a little bit, but it came back in a big way.
Absolutely, yeah. The tornado, and we've had tornado tours on anniversaries, just devastated many of the homes in the neighborhood. And it really took until, the 70s to start rehabbing them and getting all these painted ladies back looking great.
Wow. I remember, 25 years ago with the aldermen, one of the first in-your wards we did, I think the very first one, was Lafayette Square.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool because 1111 Mississippi wasn't there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think SqWires may have just opened up. But what they were doing at the time was they were digging up the concrete and the roads, and they found all the cobblestone.
Absolutely.
And maybe take it from there, how it transformed the neighborhood back a little bit.
Sure. There's many of the streets throughout the neighborhood that do have cobblestones. It did present some trickiness to get them exposed, and then to repair some that needed to be repaired. Ultimately, there's not that many, unfortunately, left, but the sidewalks are amazing. So a lot of that historic preservation was really focused on the sidewalks almost on every single street.
I've noticed a lot of scaffolding as I drive through that area from time to time, which means that there's an effort being made to preserve it and, to keep up the homes. And it's really one of the most beautiful areas in the city. One of the cool events they have each year, or you guys have, is the house tour.
Absolutely.
Could you give us a little, background on the house tour, how long it's been going on, and what people can expect?
So the Holiday House Tour, we actually do have 2 a year, but the Holiday House Tour is just magnificent. 48th year for it. 11 homes that will be open from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. There are, most of them are from the 1860s to 1890s, but then there are a few core homes that are more from the 20th and 21st century that are also being focused on. So we also have trolley rides. We've got carriage rides through the park. We have a holiday market in the Fountain Plaza that's located right on Park Avenue with about 15 to 16 vendors.
Wow. So how does it work for the holiday tour? Because we have a couple different things we're touching on today, but as far as the holiday tour goes, if someone wants some information or they want to participate, what should they do and what should they expect?
So they would need to go to LafayetteSquare.org, and the website there, you can buy tickets. You can see the run of show for the day in regards to where trolley pickups are. You can start seeing where their homes are going to be located as well, and then it's a self-guided tour.
So there's many activities at Lafayette Park. It's 30 acres. At what point in the season do some of the activities kind of wind down there? Because I know you have some information on some of the great activities that take place in the park.
Sure. So, we're kind of winding down that season right now. Every other Saturday during the summer, we have live concerts, and the last one was in mid-September. We also have the vintage baseball team that plays, and that also winds down right before October 1st. So right now you can come and see, the swans and the geese and walk the park. It's got a great playground as well.
Fantastic. So you're also a prominent member of the Lafayette Square Business Association. You're involved as the proprietor for a very fine establishment there, SqWires.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah,
24 years.
I think I remember when that was opening up as well. Back in the day, I was doing a little bit of research yesterday, and I found out how you got the name SqWires. I always wondered, why SqWires? Is that the last name in the family? But if you could share with us how that name came about, that would be cool.
Sure. And why is it spelled so strangely?
I think that's
Right.
like part of the thing that makes there must be
Yes.
something
Yes.
between this.
So SqWires is housed in a Victorian wire factory. The company that was there for over 50 plus years was Western Wire Products. And then Lafayette Square, SQ, is how we got the name. So SQ for the neighborhood and Wires because of the wire
So SQ
factory.
for the square and then
Yes.
the wire
Yes.
because it's capitalized
Yes.
right there.
Correct.
Wow, it sounds like you have some amazing events coming up there as well involving Santa Claus and holiday themes and different things like that. I know you'd like to share with us.
Absolutely. So we are so fortunate this year to have Santa twice.
Really?
Yes, so we have breakfast with Santa 2 times in December, one on Sunday the 7th and then the second on Saturday the 13th. Tickets can be found on our website, SqWires.com, SqWires.com. We are just going to be finishing up before those events our Thanksgiving holiday to-goes. So we're just going to kind of roll right into to December and hosting lots of Christmas parties in our private spaces as well.
So if somebody wants to get involved with the SqWires tour and the events with the different Santa Claus opportunities, what should they do? Same?
Yep, absolutely. They can just go to SqWires.com, SqWires.com, and right on our homepage, it will take you directly to where you'd like to go.
So SqWires is a pretty amazing place. Now, have you added on to that? Because it seems like when SqWires came along, there was like a whole business district, like a block, kind of built around it or in conjunction with it. And it seems like there's quite a nice symbiotic relationship with SqWires and all the neighborhood businesses in Lafayette Square.
Absolutely. We have 8 restaurants right now that are in the neighborhood. We have a lot of other retail type shops right on Park Avenue, but the business district actually extends down Mississippi as well and towards Choteau. So don't want to miss checking in on all of those places as well. But also right on Park Avenue in between Vale and 18th Street, there is a beautiful plaza that has a great fountain, and it will be lit up for the holiday season starting on the 14th of December, and you can drive by in the evening and see the trees and all the beautiful decorations that are going to be going on.
Now, are you part of the Holiday House Tour? Is your house going to be featured?
This year, my house is not going to be featured.
But it has been.
It has been, yes.
Really?
Yes, my husband's pretty happy that it's not going to be featured this year. But SqWires will be taking part in the holiday market right on Park Avenue.
Just look at those houses.
Aren't they beautiful?
Can you maybe take us back in time? You said back in the 1800s, those houses were built. And could you describe the decor and how they were built and, the history of that?
Sure. I actually, my husband and I owned one of the homes that was built by James Eads, who did the Eads Bridge. So he had built 2 homes right on Mississippi on the park for his 2 daughters. So they each had one, and both of those have been on the tour several times. But those were built in the 1860s, and stone, and then not so much brick, just but the big beautiful stone. Brick is more so on the sides and in the back. 3-story townhomes. and these are also some of those homes that were, ruined by the tornado, and then have been historically preserved based on our code that needs to be followed. So you can't just come in and fix the homes with anything. You have to follow the code and the historical significance of it.
So you say it's a French, got a French flair to it?
Sure.
Because you think of our city founders and leaders, Auguste Chouteau and Pierre Leclerc and everybody that came here. They, I don't know where they stayed, but apparently there's a lot of prominent St. Louisans back in the day, in the 1800s, some of the most famous people, in businesses and in scholastics and education, all resided there in Lafayette Square, and it was the the number one place to be for many years when the city of St. Louis was first kind of coming to into itself.
The opulence of the neighborhood was known, absolutely. There's Benton Place is a private street that's right off of Park Avenue, Thomas Hart Benton, and of course there was lots of different authors that have lived there as well. But again, like I had talked about, James Eads and his daughters that had lived there too.
Wow, from Eads Bridge. Wow, that's really neat. We have about 30 seconds. Okay. Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to share that I didn't bring up? And one more time, we'll hit the website.
Sure. No, I think if everybody just understands that these house tours that the neighborhood does every year, those proceeds go to keeping that neighborhood beautiful and safe and historic. So that is very important. And again, that's LafayetteSquare.org for tickets and information on the tour.
Well, thanks a lot,
You're
folks.
welcome.
Maybe get out and hit up some of the businesses, have lunch or dinner over at SqWires, do the tour, and all that fun stuff. Sunday, December 14th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., LafayetteSquare.org. Well, Bethany, thank you so much for joining us today on City Corner.
It was a pleasure.
We really appreciate you coming.
Okay.
All right, well, the theme's going to continue as we're going to take a quick break, but Katy Enrique from the City Museum is going to join us next and tell us about all the neat holiday things they have going on over there as well. We'll be right back.
Did you know that you can watch STL TV on your smartphone or tablet? That's right. STL TV is available on your Android or iOS mobile devices. And that includes our live broadcast channels as well as video on demand content. It is really easy to get started. Just find the App Store on your device, then search for Cablecast. Select it and click to install. Launch the app, and if you're in the St. Louis area, STL TV should be the first channel to show up. If you're not in the area, you may have to scroll down to find it. So just click on the STL TV logo, and in just a few seconds, you're enjoying STL TV's great programming such as City Corner, Inside Sports, City Government, What's the 314, or my personal favorite, In the Kitchen.
And welcome back to City Corner. I'm your host, Todd Blackstock. Joining us in our second segment today on City Corner is Katy Enrique. She's the outstanding marketing director at the City Museum here in St. Louis. And, Katy, thanks so much for joining us here today. And, you've been on board now for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's been great. I love working at City Museum. It's such like a prized jewel of the city of St. Louis. So it's really great to work there.
It really has an excellent history we're going to touch on and some great events. But, to take it back a little bit, you're coming from a fun theme park before you came to St. Louis here. And can you give us a little bit of background on what you did before you took over as the marketing director at City Museum.
Sure. Well, I moved here from Chicagoland, so I'm a St. Louis transplant for about 9 years now.
Are you a Cubs fan?
Well, I always say I'm Cubs by birth, but White Sox by marriage.
I saw the Blues.
Yeah, so I was like, we're allowed in the neighborhood, so we're okay since we're mostly White Sox fans now, and Cardinals, of course. But yes, I worked at Six Flags for about 20 years up in the Chicago Park, and then moved here to work at the St. Louis Park, and then, about 2.5 years ago, moved over to City Museum.
So did you come right in as the marketing director?
Yeah, came right in here as marketing director. That's what I was doing previously, but I'd also done, public relations and advertising and special events with Six Flags, so
I'd
fun
say,
background.
The City Museum has got a great history in St. Louis. It was part of the, part of like a district, back in the early days of St. Louis, where it was like an old building, a shoe factory or something like that.
It's inside International Shoe, which is an old shoe warehouse, and it has like the admin building that's also annexed to it through like these breezeway access points, but we sit in the old shoe warehouse portion. And so when you look at those spiral slides, that's how they actually moved a lot of that product down from the upper floors to the lower floors. And when you look at that big staircase that goes up City Museum center lobby, all those banisters that are rollers are actually part of the roller system that moved all that product down the different floors.
No way.
Yeah, very cool building, lots of reusable materials in there. They've been painted and repurposed into different things, but there's no waste in that building at all. Lots of things repurposed.
So you've got to use some of the history of the shoe factory,
Yeah.
and you've kind of incorporated it into the museum.
Yeah, really when Bob and Gail Castley purchased that building, any repurposed material was material to use to build art and to create, and it was also part of the purchase. So there was no need to go purchase new things sometimes when you had some of these repurposed materials sitting at your doorstep.
Now, did the school bus, was that part of the purchase? Is that like on the roof?
Yeah, right. I think that showed up one day. I don't actually know if City Museum purchased it. There was a point where I think a lot of people, once they realized what was going on with City Museum, it was, hey, we have this, can we bring it by? Do you want it? Can you use it? And sometimes people would just drop things off. Well, a school bus shows up and Bob immediately craned it up to the rooftop. And, I think there's some legendary story with the city. They weren't so happy with that, but eventually
I guess they got over it after a
cooler
while.
heads prevailed, and there's still a school bus on top of City Museum today.
Well, that's neat
great.
because I remember in the 1970s and like early 80s, we'd like drive down there just to like check it out.
Yeah.
Drive down Wash Ave and some of the streets, and it'd be like, we'd drive around there and look, and it was a little bit of a ghost town.
Yeah.
And I think that the City Museum, when the Castleys helped take it over, I guess with an art background, that really started some of the inspiration for the Wash Ave reconstruction and the terracotta lots and some of the other places down there that have all been rehabbed in that general 8 or 10 block district.
Yeah, it used to be Shoe USA. It was that whole area. It's a garment district, and so as manufacturing starts moving out, then those buildings were starting to go vacant. But Bob, he is a sculptor by trade, and really all he's looking for is a giant space that he can do all of his creations in. And so, he found the City Museum building and got it for a steal of a deal, I believe, and then just started creating pretty much immediately.
Is it like 600,000 square feet or something?
Yeah, it's massive. Or 10 stories. Yeah, 10-story building. The museum resides in the first 4 floors that you can access on the inside, and then the front exterior of it is called Monstrose City, which has those 2 airplanes and that whole climbing structure, and then obviously we have the rooftop as well.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So with the holiday season coming up, I know you're really excited to discuss some of the upcoming events.
Yeah.
We've got all kinds of things starting out with Santa Claus and just some cool events. I'll just turn it over to you right now to maybe discuss some of these great events coming up.
We have Weirdly Wonderful Holidays starting November 28th.
Weirdly Wonderful.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, so City Museum, that's exactly what it is. It's wonderfully weird. And so we just said, well, if we're doing holidays, and let's just lean into what we are. So it's Weirdly Wonderful Holidays, which means it's just going to be a little adjacent to other holiday items, which is our Santa isn't a sitting Santa taking photos, but he's a working Santa. So he's in his overalls, and he's going to be interacting with kids at the toy workshop and kind of having a different sort of interaction with them at City Museum versus sort of maybe your mall Santa. We have Mrs. Claus, and she's going to be there reading stories to everybody as well. So That's a little bit different. And we'll have a Jack Frost type character also walking around and doing different interactions with kids as well. So we're looking to do things just a little bit different because it's important that if you're going to, spend your time, your family's, money and things like that, that there's something a little different at City Museum versus, a different attraction.
It's almost like you can come to the City Museum and bring your kids and your family there, and you can almost see what it's like in the North Pole.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we have different lighting effects all over. So the whale room space is, it's our pink Christmas location. So you walk in and you see that big whale and all those things hanging down from the ceiling. It's all lit up pink. And then our Christmas tree is using old scraps, but they're very reflective. And so it's very pretty, but it's not your usual Christmas tree. So we have a lot of that kind of stuff really throughout City Museum. Again, some repurposed materials, some built from our crew that works on site, and then a bunch of different lighting and decor on top of it.
And we like to talk about the activities for kids, but there's certainly some adult-oriented activities as well there. And I think you said that, you have some pop-ups, some pop-up refreshment areas.
Yeah, we do. So we're open on most Fridays and Saturdays till 9 o'clock. We do have some Fridays and Saturdays that we close a little earlier for some private events, but we do have bars throughout City Museum. We have the Cabin Bar, which is on the first floor. It's one that most people see when they come in, and that's our cozy chalet. So it's got more of that kind of ski lodge feel. And then we have Beatnik Bob's, which we turn into more of a Kitschmas Christmas. So it's a little bit more off-center and a little bit more fun and kind of punk-like. And then we have the Elfed Up Cafe, which is on our fourth floor. And we have a rooftop bar as well. So we'll have different kinds of cocktails throughout there, like a Jingle Juice, a Grinch, different martinis, and also you can spike hot cocoa and coffee. So lots of different options even for those visiting us there, the 21 and up.
Now, Circus Harmony is has a nice presence there as well. Will they be involved in the holiday situation?
Oh yeah, Circus Harmony is very active. They do shows every single day that City Museum is open, and they'll also be incorporating some holiday shows in there as well. So if you're like, I've already kind of seen the Circus Harmony summer show, it's okay. They revamped their show for Halloween, and they also redo it for holidays. So it's really a great different take on what they typically do in there. Now
you have a pretty wide range this year. I think it's maybe 5 weeks it's open. Could you maybe discuss the times and dates and some ticket information before we move on?
Yeah, for sure. So we open November 28th for Weirdly Wonderful Holidays, and we'll run that all the way through basically school winter breaks, which is January 4th. Santa and Mrs. Claus do leave after Christmas Eve, so if you want to see those folks, you want to make sure you visit before Christmas. But otherwise, we really run pretty busy during, Thanksgiving break. And then those first couple weeks of December, if you've got like little kids that are with you, because sometimes parents with like the younger kids get a little nervous to come to City Museum, those in-between weeks are a great time to visit us because it's a little quieter before we get to those winter break weeks when, again, we become a little bit more popular and busy.
Now, as you approach Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, will they be open? Will you guys be open on those days?
We'll be open, yeah, Christmas Eve, closed Christmas Day, closed Thanksgiving Day, but then open New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
So Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus are going to be leaving right after
Christmas.
Yeah, so like Eve. The 20. So from that time on, you can maybe focus on New Year's Eve, which is coming up. And I understand you have an outstanding event coming for New Year's Eve there as well at City Museum.
Yeah, this is our third year we'll be doing our family New Year's Eve party. And what's so great about that is we put up all these balloons on the third floor, and we'll do a family balloon drop at 8 o'clock p.m. on New Year's Eve. So you can come, in the afternoon. We have face painters, we have balloon artists, we have a DJ that does like family dance party, and then at 8 p.m. we'll pull the string and have all those balloons kind of drop down right there on the third floor, and then everybody sort of heads home after that, so they can still have a really fun, family-safe New Year's Eve party, but get home at a time where everybody's still feeling good about getting kids to bed before they go a little crazy when it gets too close to midnight.
Yeah, it seems like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's been great.
Because you can bring your family down there and enjoy a drop.
Yes.
And then you can put the kids to bed, and then like you can, get a babysitter or have grandma or somebody watch the kids, and then you can go out and celebrate twice and the actual drop.
Yeah, and it's just really, really fun. We've had such positive feedback from families that really appreciate something to go do that's not just sitting at home, maybe in the family room waiting for the New York ball to drop at 11.
Sure. So we have about a minute left. Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on that maybe I haven't addressed just yet?
Yeah, one of the greatest things that we're offering at City Museum now is a City Museum member pass. And so right around Black Friday, and then again towards the end of the year, we're going to be offering some really great discounts on a 2026 City Museum member pass. And it gets you access through all of 2026 for unlimited admission. You'll get rooftop access with that pass. You'll get a bring a friend free ticket with that pass. And if you're 21 and up, it gets you also access to our 21 and up City Nights series. And the pass is only $39.99 during these sale windows. So keep an eye out for those sale windows right around, again, Black Friday, Christmas time through the end of the year. And it's just a great way to, people oftentimes visit City Museum multiple times. They have friends and family in town. If you've got your pass, you're already set to go for really just, the price of 1.5 visits.
Yeah, it reminds me of Six Flags season pass, because once you get it done, you can go all you want.
Good to go, yeah. So it's good as soon as you buy it, all the way through 2026. So it's just a great deal right now. And then we also have a ton of fantastic retail items that if you're looking for Christmas gifts or add-ons to your pass, we've got ornaments, beanies, our cute little praying mantis with the sweater, bags, koozies, all that kind of stuff.
Fantastic. And before we let you go, once again, the website, people want tickets.
citymuseum.org.
citymuseum.org.
Got it.
Well, thank you so much, Katy, for joining us here today on City Corner. We appreciate it, and we wish you well, and, happy holidays, and let's have some fun.
I know. Happy holidays to you, too.
All right, how about that? Well, that's our show for today. We'd especially like to thank our studio guests, Katy Enrique and Betty. And we'd like to thank you for watching City Corner on STL TV. Experience St. Louis.